Not so much a rant this week, but I want to talk for a few minutes about thumb tips. The thumb tip is probably one of the most versatile gimmicks or effects in all of Magic. We get questions all the time about which thumb tip should I get. This thumb tip's too big, it doesn't fit my fingers properly, it's the wrong colour, whatever it might be. The simple advice that I need to give you is this: the thumb tip just needs to go on your thumb and stay on. That's it. It doesn't need to fit right down. In fact, if it did fit right down over your thumb, what you'd end up with is something where you'd have no space. So it just needs to go on your thumb and stay on. Before a thumb tip was invented, people used to use thimbles and small pieces of copper piping. There were all sorts of other things which were used prior to it looking anything like a thumb. So don't worry about whether it looks exactly like your thumb or whether it's your skin tone. It's really about the way you use it and the attitude that you have when you're using it. If you're one of those people that carries a thumb tip around in your pocket ready to do magic all of the time, please don't store a silk handkerchief inside a thumb tip, because it looks like this. It ends up being screwed up in a little ball, and it just looks so crappy, and that's really not what you want. What you want is for your handkerchief to look big. Then it's even more impressive when it vanishes. Don't be frightened to iron your silks. A good tip with this is to run them in some hot water and then stick them on the mirror or stick them on the shower screen, and then when they dry out they'll just peel off and they'll be perfectly smooth. But don't be afraid to iron them. Silk's a very resilient material. They use it when they make bulletproof vests. It's pretty strong stuff, so don't be afraid to iron them and make them nice and neat. When you use your thumb tip, spend some extra time practicing and make sure that the thumb tip is kept out of sight as much as you can. But to be honest with you, it's really more about being natural and behaving in a natural way when you're using the thing. So when you tuck the handkerchief into the thumb tip, let's assuming it's a handkerchief that you're using, when you tuck it in, please don't do this. This just looks so awful. It really is not the way to do it. It's very simple to push it in with your fingers. Just keep the thumb tip back so it's pointing towards the back of your hand. Come in towards the back of your hand with your thumb, just do a little brushing motion. It's all you need to do, and that's it. Also, we don't need to do this. You don't need to move your hands at 100 miles an hour. You don't have to point your thumb tip exactly right in the eye of the spectator and do this. This kind of thing, as I see in instruction booklets, this kind of thing is just rubbish. This is running without being chased. So when you do the vanish, let's say it's here, when you do the vanish and you've stolen the thumb tip, just act and be clean. That's all you need to do. If you're worried about whether it's visible, just keep this thumb behind the other hand, but just act naturally, move at the same pace you normally would. If you start having jerky, freaky, scary movements, then people will assume that something dodgy is going on. Just relax, and when it's appropriate, remove the thumb tip from your thumb so that you can have your hand held loosely, and then at some later stage just casually put your hand in your pocket to take something else out, leave the thumb tip behind. That's all you need to do. This little booklet costs very, very little. It's a very cheap little booklet. It's 101 tricks with a thumb tip. If you've got one of these, which I'm sure you have, and you think it's the best thing ever, don't phone me and ask for another trick. Just get the little booklet, because this is 100 different tricks that you can do with the thumb tip, and with a little bit of thought and some looking at the stuff around you, you can come up with other stuff. So there you go, a few tips on using a thumb tip. Probably the best effect in the whole of Magic. There we are, a few tips. Going to talk to you about two things that I can't demonstrate. One is a book and the other is a set of DVDs. First of all, a book by John Lovick, and this is the magic of a man called Steve Mayhew. Steve Mayhew is really one of those underground card magicians that people have been clamoring to try to get hold of his material for many years. It's appeared in obscure magazines and a few very rare manuscripts. It's been very hard to find any of his material. This guy's a 100% pure original. The book is called What Women Want, and to be honest, I think part of the issue with this is the title. I don't think it's the best title, because it kind of indicates that it might be one of those sort of tacky, how to chat up women with card tricks type books. It really isn't. It's a book of very original, very unusual and very quirky card magic. It's not extraordinarily difficult, it's just very entertaining, very original stuff. So check out this. Have a look around, you'll find some other reviews, and everybody's saying that this is one of the best books of the year so far. Steve Mayhew, What Women Want. If you do magic with a stack, in other words you use a card stack, no doubt you would have purchased this, Mnemonica. It's Juan Tamariz's work on stack. This has been a book that's been many years in the making. We've all been hanging out for what is one of the finest works on stack magic ever produced. Well, stack magic fans, have I got news for you. Juan Tamariz, Card Magic to Remember. This is Mnemonica Miracles. It's a set of DVDs put out by Dan and Dave. Now, caveat to this is that we all know Dan and Dave produce really amazing video effects, fantastic, I guess, artsy video production. This is not that. What this is a set of DVDs that were produced by Juan himself at home to a large extent, and also in some shows. So he's recorded live shows and then spent hours and hours and hours discussing the methods and the principles, not just the basic nuts and bolts, but also all of the thinking and the psychology and the stuff that Juan is known for. There are more than 20 routines on here. This is hours and hours and hours. The last sentence basically says that this little set is worth its weight in gold. I don't think you could get much gold in that weight. I think to anybody who uses stacks, it's worth more than its weight in gold. So there it is. Juan Tamariz, Mnemonica Miracles. The word genius is bandied around in magic left, right and centre, and there aren't many geniuses, or genii, whatever the plural of genius might be. But one man who is a genius is Luba Fiedler. A crazy inventor of some of the most amazing, almost scientific magic tricks. Very clever guy. And many years ago, Luba's cube effect was marketed by Ken Brook and made in Germany by ZZM. And I still have one of those. It was a great trick. It's very colourful, it's like a dice, and kind of doesn't have much point other than being a magic trick. It's brilliant, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Whereas this, I think, does. This is called Luba's Gift. It's put out by the people at Paul Harris Presents. And you start out with this nice looking gift box, and you can talk about going into a shop and seeing this gift box and deciding that you wanted to buy it. I really like to buy this. The trouble is I'm not really sure I can carry it home. It's a bit bigger than my bag, so is there any chance you could post it to me? In which case the man in the shop said, yes, I can post it to you, no problem. We have shipping boxes for these, they're just the right size. Oh really? Where is the shipping box? Oh, it's inside. Inside? Yeah, inside. Okay. Let me show you. Inside the stripy box is the shipping box. This is the shipping box, which is exactly the right size to send out your box. Let me show you. If I close up your little gift box that you want to keep, I can put it inside the shipping box, and now I'll be able to send that out to you. There we go. I'll get that in the post on Monday. So that's it from the people at Paul Harris Presents. It's called Luba's Gift. Now, what can you put inside it? You know what? Just about anything. There are so many possibilities in terms of how you could use this, incorporate it into a presentation for kids or for adults or for a family show or for talks or for just about any kind of a presentation. On the DVD they show a routine where they incorporate it with Invisible Deck. It's a simple way of adding something to Invisible Deck, or adding, I guess, Invisible Deck to this to give you an extra little effect. It's a good little curiosity that you could just have somewhere on the shelf if someone came to the magic room and you wanted to show them something unusual. Lots of different possibilities. Luba's Gift.